right, welcome to Progress Not Perfection. My name is Troy. I'm with
Joe.
welcome, welcome. So I'm going to kick this off. We're going to start by talking about 7-0, right? Which is something that has been coming up more and more in the community when we do community outreach. We see people coming into treatment. More and more people are being impacted by 7-hydroxy, or otherwise known as 7-0, right?
7OH.
Yeah. So it's commonly you see it 7 and then a dash and then a O and then a H. It's 7-hydroxy. So it's commonly tied in directly with kratom because it's a derivative of the kratom leaf. A couple key points that 7-0 is created from a chemical process, not directly from the natural ingredient, right? I think that's important to point out. 7-0 is a potent opioid receptor stimulator, 100 times more potent than mitragynine. I heard a doctor, he compared it to, he said, let's talk about apples. He said, did you know in an apple seed, cyanide is present in that, right? He says, does that make up the apple? Right? No, that's ridiculous, right? So he's like, think about 7-0 in compared to kratom in that same kind of way, right? So that's what's going on with 7-0 is they've concentrated, manipulated it into a synthetic that looks like or acts like hydrocodone or oxycodone, right? It's so addictive. And that's why people use it, and especially if you have the gene, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're predisposed to addiction, you're screwed, all the way screwed. You can't get off it, and it's just horrifying, man. Destroys families. Long story short, extremely problematic for a lot of people, even in recovery or people that, man, like it's advertised in gas stations, in vape shops or smoke shops. I mean, it's like readily available. They're marketing it for kids, bro. Like there's kids pack. I got pictures of like kids packaging of this stuff that looks like ice cream cones. It's crazy, dude.
I've seen the damage it's done with some of my participants, who think they're going to get away from smoking crack or doing heroin by doing kratom or 7OH, and it is just like 10 times the withdrawals. I mean, they're taking themselves into rehab, detox facilities for this because they can't get off of it.
Yep. And there's not a lot of places that publicly that you can detox for it, right? There's only a couple places locally that they're even, because it's kind of coming up on the scene. Not a lot of people have, it's newer, right? So
I have heard of people saying they just have a problem with opiates, generalized, instead of saying, oh, I'm coming down off kratom because, you're coming off kratom. We don't help detox from kratom. But if you say opiates, then it's kind of like the same thing.
Right. Yeah. It's nasty.
Yeah.
It's nasty.
It's a nasty thing.
I'm only talking about it because I think that it creates awareness, right? We want people to be aware so they can be safe, right? Certainly our families, our kids. And just a couple of examples I've heard is people going into, like I said, a gas station or a smoke shop, and somebody, it's marketed right at the checkout. So you think, back in the day it was like no-dos or something. You know what I mean? Remember those?
What was it? The synthetic weed.
Oh,
K2. Yeah, K2 and 8-ball. They had they were just research chemicals packaged.
I just pulled this up and it says Reddit users frequently compare 7-OH effects to prescription opioids like oxycodone and hydrocodone, with many expressing surprise at the potency legally available at smoke shops. Discussants note high prices ranging from $15 to $40 for single doses of concentrated products. The convenience of purchasing at gas stations is frequently mentioned as both an accessibility benefit and a concern for impulse use. Right? They go on. There's lots of Reddit.
I remember
Stuff
back
like
in my day, we'd have to pay $25 to $50 in oxyacetylene. Now you just go into a gas station, pay $15.
How horrifying, though,
Yeah.
especially for kids.
Thank God I got sober before all this
Man,
crazy
I'm telling
shit.
you, buddy. Great
Fentanyl was
yeah.
starting to come in right as I got the last
Yeah.
time I overdosed was in 2014, and that was fentanyl. And it was just starting to come into the scene when I got sober 11 and a half
Honestly, same.
years ago.
One of my first sponsees, man, and
Almost 12 years ago.
he was taking the patches and he was extracting the fentanyl out of the
It was
patch.
gel. We
or whatever.
scoop it
Yeah.
into straight shooters.
And I'm
smoke
thinking,
it.
like,
Yeah,
dude,
it's
you're
horrible.
fucking crazy. What are you doing?
Take
You know
it,
what I
rub
mean?
it on your
Yeah.
gums.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
I remember them very well.
Yeah, then I looked into it. That's the first time that I had heard about it, though. And then I started to do a little research and learned it was really for like stage 4 cancer people.
It's a
You know,
patch
it's like,
you
oh
put
my
on.
God.
It's 3 days, like 100 microgram is like 3 days worth of pain medicine.
Man.
For all day for 3 days, or
Man.
1 day if you put a heating pad on.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm grateful I'm not in that bondage, man. That's crazy. But people just, thinking that it's a pick-me-up product, like energy drink. I mean, it is an energy drinks as well. You really got to pay attention to labels and read ingredients.
Let me get 2 Red Bulls and a pack of 357 caffeine pills.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
7 OH pills.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So just know that that's out there. It's a danger to people. We want to make sure people are safe. That's the whole point of this and what we're doing. So that's how we're kicking it off. So we're grateful to be a part of this space to provide people with access to resources and information. If you or someone you know is impacted by addiction, we have our Genesee County Quick Response Team. Addiction is real. We can help. We ask that you call or text our QRT warm line at 810-624-1177.
Today we have Dave from Genesee Health Systems. He's a case manager dealing with mental health, jail reentry, and homelessness. Dave, how you doing?
What's up, Dave?
Hello, I'm well.
Good.
Yeah, I am adult case manager at GHS, like you said, and it tends to, the community that we serve tend to have a variety of aspects to them that touch on all of those things: more addiction, recovery, spirituality, social determinants of health, everything. Just because I work in the mental health field doesn't dictate it's like the only community that I serve.
Yeah.
Because all of Flint is like one community and there's lots of stuff going on. So
Yeah.
Oh, man.
yep, I just go where the next door of recovery opens.
Where the wind takes you.
Yeah, where the wind takes me.
What I've noticed is with a lot of substance use, there's also co-occurring with mental health. It's more than 75%. It seems with my participants. Is that kind of what you're dealing with?
It's shared among both titles, I guess. It's it's always something, one thing, I don't know the percentages of how many people that are being served as mental health consumers actually suffer from substance use disorder, but I can tell you that if they do, it's generally much more difficult because there's just, the stats already on people staying clean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something about, over 5 years is a very small percentage. And then if you add in a dual diagnoses, it's, that much more that people have to, get a grip on, for lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
So,
With your experience, could you explain maybe what primary SUD looks like versus co-occurring?
primary SUD, well, primary SUD, you guys kind of know, right? But our audience might not.
Exactly.
So I'm talking to you. It's so weird to sit here and be like, oh, hello. Like, but I can talk to this camera right here. Primary substance use disorder, generally speaking, there's a lot of denial that goes on with people that have SUD issues. They generally want to talk themselves out of it and make themselves the outlier. Like, oh, well, this hasn't happened yet. You know, well, I've never been to jail, or I've never stolen anything, but for whatever trouble that they have been in, they have been using somehow. I don't know if that's the answer that
It lines up with my experience perfectly. An alcoholic was anything I wasn't, right? I tried so hard to disidentify when I first was coming into recovery.
Yeah, that's the main thing. If it was for everybody that needed it, I guess, like they say, we would be having meetings in stadiums. But for the people that want it, we got to get past the denial stage and the general understanding or known definitions of what addiction and recovery are, the stigma behind it and all that kind of stuff. I'm glad I don't got any problem with that. I knew a long time ago, I was like, oh yeah, I'm that, and I'm that, and I'm that, and I need all the help I can get. And I'm glad that I got it, because otherwise I wouldn't be sitting here between you two fine gentlemen. Yeah.
I definitely definitely identify with the denial, because I was running around no shirt, pair of shorts, one shoe, screaming at things that weren't there, and I was not a drug addict. I'm pulling this off. Nobody knows I'm a drug addict.
Mm-hmm.
Until many years later, I was like, damn.
I think it goes deeper for us than denial. Like, I remember being at Fog Lifters early on in an early meeting, and you know, there's traditional stuff all over the walls that we see, but it said denial. Don't even notice that I am lying, right? So it's delusional. It's because I believe my own bullshit. Mm-hmm. Like, I believe, like, everybody around me, like, you're alcoholic. And I'm like, you know, I'm still like, you know, like, you know, I was the last one, you know, to realize what was going on with me. And just a lot of delusions, you know, going on. And it talks about that, you know, AA is my pathway. You know, it talks about that in, you know, in regards to the first step in the Big Book Alcoholics Anonymous, the delusion, right, that I am presently like other people or will ever be has to be smashed, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so.
Yeah, when I first went to AA many years ago, my first round, I had 5 years, and I was out in LA, and when they would come to that part and read that part at the beginning of the meeting and say, you know, has to be smashed, everybody would slam on the smash, and I was like, what?
I've been to a meeting like that.
Yeah.
I think it was in Ohio.
Yeah, I was like, what is this cult? Yeah. You know, it was very, very strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always wondered, why did you just have one shoe on? Because when I would end up with just one shoe on, it was because I would like just have enough brain juice left to get the one on, then I was like, start thinking about something else. And then before you knew it, an hour had passed and I didn't have another shoe on, but I had done like 3 other things. So yeah.
A lot of times down at the beach, San Diego, you put your shoes down, you go play in the water or whatnot, or, you know, go whatever. Just doing whatever at the beach. You come back and your shirt might not be there, your shoes might not be there, your backpack might not be there. Oh, yeah. So it was, I mean, there was multiple times where one of my sandals broke and I was just cruising around with one sandal. I mean, San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, being up for 4 days on methamphetamine didn't help the situation at all.
Yeah, that's damn awful.
Yeah. But back then I thought I was holding it together, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a big part of it too, because see, I didn't think that far ahead. Like, now that I'm, you know, working in the field and I've been doing this, I mean, I've been working in recovery or mental health for about 16 and a half years. And I've learned a lot. I learned a lot through recovery coaching classes and, you know, going to school. You know, I got a couple degrees and things like that. But now, back before all of that, I didn't even realize that I was doing all the things that I notice now, and I see in other people. I'm like, can't they notice that? I'm like, oh, that's right, they don't. just because I do after all this time doesn't mean that everybody, they're like me back then. You're like, oh, I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought I was holding it together so well that at one point, I can't remember, my son Damon, I can't remember how old he was at the time, but he was still very young. And he'll tell me these stories now. Now he's 34. And he tells me these stories now. Like, do you remember that time that you came into my bedroom and you were telling me, you know, to watch out for the green light on the computer? It's like if the green light blinks like this many times, there's some crazy fucking story. And he's like, remember that? He's like, you were already insane. I'm like, oh my God. That was so much further back than I thought. Like, I thought I was still together back then. And he's like, no, I'm surprised I still had a computer. Shit, that's right. So, yeah.
Yeah, my oldest is just turned 18 yesterday.
All right.
It's a leap year baby.
All right.
2 days ago. His first, 6 years, me and his mom were in the chaos. And so he would tell us he comes up, he thinks it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so he tells me stories. I don't want to repeat it.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
They're horrible.
You have them. That's good.
Yeah, it's wild though. Like that, we're very blessed to still have them in our lives. You know, there was a time that Damon would not speak to me, like, because he grew up. He was born, and I was like, oh my God, a baby. I was so young. Mm-hmm. I was like, I should probably get clean. That might be a good idea. And so I got clean. I took him to meetings with me. He knew everybody in the Hollywood meetings that we were going to. And oh yeah, it's Damon. You know, he's this little kid with this long hair. And then once I lost my sobriety at 5 years, he was like, why aren't we going to meetings, Dad? You know, and he saw all this stuff, and he saw me go down that, so much for a while there. Even after I got clean, 17 years ago now, he didn't want to have anything to do with me. He was still like, It was like, you screwed that up, And I wanted so much for him to get back in my life that, friends in recovery, they were all like, you got to give him his time. And I'm like, I've been clean for a year. He should know by now. Like, no, dummy. That's not the way this works. So it was about 3 years into it that he just called me on the phone. He's like, I've been watching you on Facebook. Seems like you got your shit together. I'm not mad anymore. And so now all these years later, my joke is that now I can't get rid of him. Now we talk every day. We send the stupidest videos to each other. You see something ridiculous on Instagram, I'm like, I'm going to send it to him. I think he's probably got like 30 that he hasn't even opened yet because he knows how stupid I am.
That's me with TikTok with my kid. And Troy. And Troy.
I like him though, buddy. Keep him coming. But what a gift though, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What
Huge
a
gift.
miracle. What a gift.
Yeah.
Dude, I can relate to that. It's just a beautiful experience, man.
Yeah, it is. I feel blessed. I feel really blessed by it. Yeah, I love the dude. And what's more is now that I'm getting older, and he's in his 30s and big and trains martial arts and stuff, I can like now talk shit to people and just get behind him. Not that I would, but
he is a big boy.
He's a big boy. Yeah. So that's what's up.
That's good.
All right, are we done?
No,
I'm just kidding.
no.
I'm just kidding.
So that kind of talked about some of the SUD stuff. What about co-occurring? What's your experience been with? Well, I guess back it up a little bit even further. You being an SUD guy, like, how'd you get into working with co-occurring folks and like that segue?
Well, that's a good question. I'll tell you. Starting off and talking about this, I'm like, I want to try to say, the right thing. I should have my little, thesaurus for clinical terms and shit. But you know what?
The DSM-5.
Yeah, like I don't got that, and I'm not looking at my phone for reference points. So I'll speak freely about this and say I love the people that I serve, and of course we love addicts and people that are seeking recovery. Even if they're not seeking recovery, and we see somebody that needs some kind of help, and we've been there, we're pulled to that. And so that's what I always wanted to do, and I was blessed to start working at Odyssey House. That was my first job in recovery. Okay. I thought I was going to be in trouble one day because I was going to Mott. And I don't know if you guys know Kim Shoemaker.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so she was working at Odyssey at the time, and she was my teacher in one of my social work classes.
Wow.
And we were split up in groups, and I was all the way in the back, and it was me and 4 females in my group. And we were cracking up because, of course, we were. And there's, a lot of us were older too. And then there were other groups, and she was like, David, could you come here for a minute, please? I'm like, fuck. I'm like, and I go to, I know her in recovery. We're friends, but she's also my teacher. So I'm like, oh, I'm stupid. And I went up there, and that's when she asked me, like, would you be interested in doing case management for the homeless at Odyssey House? And I was like, oh, I thought I was going to be in trouble. And she's like, no, I know you well enough. You're surrounded by women.
Isn't that
of
how
course
it goes, though? We always think we're in some shit. And it's a gift.
I mean, I was probably telling fart jokes, but so moving forward, of course. So moving forward, I got this job being case manager for the homeless with Odyssey, and then a few years went by, and she said, "There's this new thing called recovery coaching that's going to start, and this is what it's about." And I was like, "It sounds like a fucking sponsor." Like, I was like, that won't last. And I remember telling her that. She's like, you should give it a try. It would get me off of contract work and an actual hire. And I was the one of 2 guys that were the first in Genesee County to do recovery coaching. Wow. So I was like, this won't last. And look at it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we probably will have, children birthed into recovery coaching.
Yeah. Funny story. Dave actually presented me with my recovery coach certificate 10 years ago, 2016.
Wow. That's right.
I showed him a picture of me receiving he was in the, like the college gown or whatever?
Cap and
gown.
Yeah.
Giving me my certificate.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. Yep, that was
10 years ago.
That was my gown from when I graduated from Mott.
Awesome.
Yep. And so anyway, moving forward, I did that for a while. And then I got the call that I think a lot of people in social work like to get in Flint, and from GHS saying, would you like to come work with us? Because GHS is like, kind of like the GM of social work agencies, where you're like, oh, I can get it. Are you sure they want to hire me?
Yeah.
Like, you calling the right guy? Because like I look over there's like suit and tie guys, and with nice yellow ties, handsome young. So I was like, yeah, let me check this out. That's when I was still doing recovery work with SUD, and it's long story longer, how I got into the mental health thing was I graduated, I got a bachelor's during COVID time. Right when it was brand new, I did all of my classes online. I did the, oh my God, what do you call it when you have to work while you're doing internship? Yeah. I did that online as well.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
I did that with Odyssey House. Yeah, all I had to do was sit online at home and be a part of a group meeting on Zoom. Wow. And I would just sit there and watch these meetings, and I would like fill out some shit every so often. And then at the end of each meeting, they would be like, so Dave, do you have any thoughts? And I was like, yep. I was like, I always got something to say. Anyway, so once I got the bachelor's, a couple friends of mine who had done the same, they were like, hey man, you could actually get into this type of position at GHS with the bachelor's. And I thought like, well, I'm comfortable where I'm at. I like everything that I'm doing. I got my own little office. I'm fine. And I was scared. That's what it was. I was scared of change. So I finally, after about a year or so of having this bachelor's, I'm like, all right, God or whatever you want to call it is pushing me towards this door. Yeah. So I went across the street to the big GHS building, the old one. Mm-hmm. And I walked in there and I talked to a few people, and they said, you should just interview for this position. You'd be perfect for it. And I said, all right, case management for the mentally ill, huh? Okay, I don't want to work with people with mental health issues. I want addicts. So I went into this interview like, I don't give a fuck. And I was polite and everything, but I was like, I'm not going to get it and I don't care. And they were asking me questions like, what would you do? I'm like, and I gave them just a reasonable answer about everything. And then a couple answers I didn't know. I said, well, if I don't know, I'd probably Google it or ask somebody like my supervisor, I guess. And I said, are you asking me that right now? I said, I'll Google it. And they're like, no, that's a good answer. Supervisor in Google, that's probably good. Anyway, so that's how I got that position like 5-6 years ago. And I had no idea how much I would come to love our community, the community of MI, at GHS, and all the acronyms I had to learn. I had no idea, because I thought it's only going to be about SUD. That's why I got clean. I want to help other addicts. But now I realize, like, there's just a ton of people out there with co-occurring that need all the help that they can get, and we got to be the people that will help others that cannot help themselves.
Yep. Amen.
And that makes me feel fucking good.
Yeah, it gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling.
Yeah.
That's why I love waking up every day, and I'm excited to go to work.
Yeah.
I get to help people.
Dude, that's it. And isn't that crazy being like from our past?
Yeah.
Being like, I don't care, can't find my shoe, give me more beer and pizza, whatever it is. You're like, no, I would like to help this person.
Yeah.
And even if they don't want the help, and I've been like yelled at and attacked and all kinds of shit at my job, and I'm just like, I'm used to it now.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't happen all the time. Like, it took a special kind of person to want to jump on me one time, but he didn't get me. It's just something about doing this. It's a different kind of higher calling.
Yeah.
So much better than getting high, dude.
Way better.
Getting high
Man.
is dumb.
It is.
I do think it's a calling, man, and we get put where we're supposed to be, and man, congratulations on everything that you've accomplished, dude. All that, especially during COVID and getting all that done, and
Thanks.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy too, because I tell you, it's all that self-doubt, that was in me to begin with.
Yeah.
And then this fear, because I'm like, I went from who I was and now I've got this position, when I was still with GHS, I was still working with recovery, and I knew everybody that I was working with, and they were also in recovery. So I'm like, I don't want to go to the big building where the suit and tie guys are at. It's like, nobody's going to like me over there. And here I am, I'm getting older. I'm like, why do I care?
Right.
But by the time I did, I'm like, everybody does like me. And the people that don't seem to like me, I still like them. It's like, yeah, you don't have to like me,
You'll win them over in time.
Yeah, nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
So yeah, that's what's up.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I apologize right now because my breath probably smells like McDonald's and onions because I ate a Big Mac and 2 double cheeseburgers. So I apologize if you smell
2
like
double cheeseburgers.
That's what I've
And a Big
been
Mac.
smelling this whole damn time.
Yes.
Though.
No,
Yes.
it might be me though, because
No,
before I came over here, we were at Taboon, and they've got that garlic spread stuff.
Garlic spread.
I live for that.
Taboon is amazing, man. I love that place.
I thought that was garlic butter to begin with, and so I would always use it sparingly, And then when I found out that it was just
garlic spread.
oh yeah, dude, I'm like, I was on like my 3rd tub of it. Just
Nice.
the little tubs.
Yeah, the little tubs.
A little tub for a big tub. But yeah, I stink like garlic. So if
I
you're a
haven't smelled
vampire,
garlic. I smell onions, and I'm like, dude, I feel so bad for Dave because my breath smells like
no,
onions.
all I smell is my own shit.
Go.
dude.
I only
It's
smell
good.
my own shit too. High five.
Yes.
So
Together we'd make a good meal if we
Yeah,
just,
we would.
just spit on each other.
I'll scoot over here. I'll let you guys do that.
You gotta give him that hot too. Who's editing this?
So David, you have a passion for music, right? Musical arts.
Yep, I do some stuff.
So how has your recovery influenced what you do in music? Can you talk about that?
Yes, sir. It's given me everything back. Everything. For some perspective, I am 55 now, and I've been playing some kind of instrument, mainly the bass guitar, since I was 14. And there was a time when I was using that I didn't have anything and I was homeless, and I sold everything, gave it away, traded it, whatever. And I did not care about music at all anymore. It's really sad. There was a lot of years I look back now, I'm like, oh, I missed out on a lot of stuff. But getting clean, about 17 and a half years ago now, I like rediscovered what I had when I was a kid about everything that I love. And that's one of the many gifts that recovery has given me, not just, you know, it's not just the recovery of the spirit or like recovery from drugs and alcohol or recovery of your spirit. It's the recovery and the betterment of life that I did not have for a long, long time. I mean, I was this last time before when I had 5 years clean, and I was out there about 7.5 years before I surrendered. I did not care or have a passion for anything, and I used to see Pete like out in LA when I was out of my mind. I would see people from meetings or from other bands I used to play with, or people, you know, movie makers, and I would just be like, "Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed! Like I can't believe it." But then I would just go keep doing the same thing. Getting clean gave all of that passion back to me, and now it doesn't. It just kind of keeps pouring out.
Yeah.
So I mean, at this taping right now, I mean, I don't know how many books I've written since I've been clean. Sarah would probably know better than I would, but there's got to be at least 15 books since I've been clean. I pump them out all the time, and I'm finishing up an EP with one band, St. Eerie. I finished up a solo album that I gave you earlier. That was about a month ago. And, you know, just shot a short movie based off of the first song on that album. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Recovery's given me all this stuff. And I'm currently in the process of shooting and editing a feature film, which I've never done before. And that takes a lot of fucking work and time.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm learning DaVinci while I'm editing a feature, which is going to be like 75 minutes long.
Wow.
Like, it might be shitty, you know.
But you'll have it.
But
it'll be there.
It'll be
It's
my
your mark.
shitty movie.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But honestly, man, it looks fucking cool so far.
Wow, 15 books? That's amazing.
Yeah. Just during recovery, I wrote several more before that too. So
Wow.
yeah, I've got a few.
How did I not know about any of these?
Yeah, I didn't know about any
I've
of
seen
that.
you play a bunch of times.
Well, if you go to David St. Eerie, that's David STEERIE.com, you'll see links to everything. My old pseudonym for when I was in a different band in LA, and you know, David Stashko is my real name, but David St. Eerie is the scary Rob Zombie name. I couldn't choose Herman Munster because it was used.
Yes.
So
and copyrighted.
yeah. So if you go to that website, you can see, you know, all the books, all the movies, the new short film that I just did. It's kind of a music video, but it's more like a little cheap, short, 5-minute kind of movie.
That's cool.
It's all there with links to everything. And all the books, man, they're mostly like the old version of me wanted to write the goriest, most violent shit in horror that you could find. And I've done a few of them like that. And I've now moved on to I want to be Stephen King. And she puts up with it.
Nice.
Off-camera wife. The best. The best.
More gifts, man. Fruits of recovery.
Oh, yeah.
So if you could, you know, with all your experience, man, where you've been, recovery coach, you're like the OG recovery coach, at least here, you know, all this experience, gifts, blessings. What would you tell the person that's struggling to scratch a minute together today, who's just, man, giving up on hope? And, you know, what would you say to that individual?
Man, it's hard. It's hard. What I would like to say, what I would like for everybody to grab onto is somebody else in recovery, because that's what mattered to me. Yeah. It really mattered. And see, I love meetings, and I would say grab onto somebody that is going to go to meetings and go to more meetings. And if you're just getting that 1 minute together, and it's hard, and you want to stay clean, and you don't want to drink, and you don't want to use, and you don't know what else to do, and you don't know, just get to a meeting somehow. I mean, if you got high for as long as we did, or whatever, you can get to a meeting. You can find one. There's a ton around here anyway. Yeah. You get there, and you just ask for help. Maybe there's somebody in there. Like, I had somebody that my first day was like, and you know, interestingly, coincidentally or not, this guy who grabbed me that first day I came back on September 3rd, 2008, after I surrendered and I went to this meeting and I was like, I need help and this and that. He came over and he's like, I'm pretty new too. He's like, let's go get something to eat. And I was like, I don't have any money. He's like, I didn't ask if you had money.
Yep.
Let's go get something to eat.
Yep.
And that guy, Dan H. from Recovery, me and him started planting roots here. And a few years ago, he moved to work in Missouri for GM and just moved back yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So coincidentally, I got to mention him, like, grab onto a Dan, somebody that that maybe you got something in common. What we had in common, I did not know, was metal. When you look at the guy, he just looks like I won't say your average Joe, because you're not an average Joe, but he just looks like somebody that you might listen to Nickelback or some shit, But when he got in the car, he's like, "You want to listen to Megadeth?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's go!" And I'm like, "You're new and you still have a car, and you got a job?" And like, yeah, But he'd also been to like 28 rehabs. Yeah. So anyway, long story short, I'd grab hold of somebody and ask for help and not be alone. Yeah. Because that's the important thing. If you want it, don't find a problem for every solution. We got to do things differently. And that was the one thing. I was ready to go, man. I knew I needed to get to a meeting. Mm-hmm. I had a horrible night the night before I got clean. It was one day after my birthday. My birthday was September 1. September 2, I was sick as fuck. and all kinds of evil, bad shit was going on around me, and it kept coming at me. I'm like, no, all the time. I couldn't even get out of bed because I was so sick from drinking and everything else. I was like, please, God, just help me. Yeah. And I passed out. I woke up the next day, and I called my dad, and I was like, and he didn't want anything to do with me. And I'm just like, you please take me to a meeting. And he's like, I'll be right there. And he dropped me off, and then he said, call me if you need a ride back. And that's where I met Dan, and we've both been clean since then. And it's a miracle because, I didn't think that I would click with anybody but I knew I needed to get to a meeting because that was the one thing that I had before. Yeah. When I was out in LA, 5 years to the day, and I went to meetings all the time. It was such a great place to live. And now I've been blessed. I go to meetings several times a week. I still do it. I still got a sponsor. I'm going to meet with him tomorrow, go over some steps. Still, it feels good to do it. Yeah. And I've been blessed. I work with people in recovery. Yeah. I got married in recovery. I think Sarah's got like 15 years or something. What? And she's all right. She's all right.
I love that though, buddy. You're that's consistent with my experience. Recovery is connection. And the disease, man, just wants to keep you sick and isolated and separated out. And, man, you get picked off. You get picked off. So many of us just don't make it to recovery. And that's the heartbreaking, part. And, we have. And it's like, when that first time I got exposed to recovery, I was just passing through stage. Mm-hmm. But, AA fucked up my drinking. I'll just say that, right? What do they say? Like a head full of AA and a belly full of booze don't mix.
Oh yeah.
But they planted a lot of good seeds, and I knew where to go. Mm-hmm. Like you said, man, I knew how to get connected. I didn't want to get connected, but I knew I had to if I didn't want to die, if I didn't want to go to prison. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And man, those connections. So that's awesome.
Let me tell you those. The just passing through stage, man, that
was tough.
Yeah, because then you get you NA, AA, you get the curse of NA and AA or whatever.
You get the truth
pathway. Yeah, and so then if you go back out and you're drinking or you're shooting up, you're like, I shouldn't be doing this, man. I know I'm an addict. Why am I doing? It's just the whole thing that's just running through your head and it like tortures you. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I just kept going back and back and back. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be different this time.
Right.
It never was. It's never different.
No, it's always worse too. When I had the 5 years in LA and I went out on my 5-year birthday. That was the one. Yep, that was it. I stupid scenario, but that's what I did. And man, is that right? It messes up your using and drinking. That a head full of NA or AA.
Yeah.
That's every time I would get high, I'd be like, "Oh, I'm powerless."
Yeah.
Oh shit, am I powerless? And I never thought about going back. I just knew I was either in or out, and I was out for like 7.5 years, and I knew the whole time. I'm like, "This ain't right.
Yeah.
I am not doing well." But that's so far in the past now. I just try to do what worked then, and just go to meetings, work the steps, talk to my sponsor, and and give back, and like all the. So it's just, some people call it coincidence, the whole shebang about this. Like, it's not really coincidence if you believe in like a greater being, a higher power, or a cosmic force, or whatever you want to call it. But I see it working in my world still to this day. In fact, when I was here and I met Brandon, and he was like, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah," and actually it was right before I met Brandon, Tyler, who I work with, bringing movies here and stuff like that. He said, "Yeah, I'm having my event at this place, and it's like a New Path building." I was like, "New Path? Why? How are you connected to?" Because he don't drink or use, but he's not one of us. He's just a very cool normie, and that's why I like him. So we started talking, and I met Brandon, and then he's like, "Oh, there's Jim Hudgens," and I was like, "See, this is just one more example of getting cemented, further and further into recovery. And if I wasn't around here or doing these things, left to my own devices, it doesn't matter how much time I got. I'm going to get sick up here, sick in here, and then I'm done."
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much time you got.
Yeah.
My experience. So
Yep.
that's what's up.
That is what's up.
That's what's up.
Well, Dave, thank you, man. It's
Thank
been
you.
a pleasure having you, man. I'm just honored to, know you and know more about you now. And
Thank you.
Cool. I'm definitely going to check out your website and your books and
Yeah.
films and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yep. And about this time next year, I'll probably have more gray hair, but I'll have hopefully this feature
You'll
done.
have hair though, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it
Maybe
depends.
Troy don't have
It
hair.
depends. It's a good look, though.
We're done.
It's a good look. Hopefully I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing, but a quick plug though, just because I am working with Tyler, bringing these free movies here. And at first, he was kind of doing this on his own. And the more that we talked, he was like, a lot of the people there too, and this and that. He was like, I'd like for you to be more a part of this. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do anything. I'm just kidding. But I love that he's bringing free, family-friendly things. And for anybody that is new in recovery, like, it might just seem like, oh, they're showing a scary movie or a Godzilla movie or some kind of event. But there are people in recovery here.
Yes.
And it's a safe place that you can go.
That's right.
It's good to be a part of something, and the doors continue to open, and it feels really good.
I met him at an event here, the Sober Bowl.
Yep.
They had here.
Yep.
Talked to him for a little bit.
Yeah.
Cool guy.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. Godzilla -1, the shirt. That'll be in April, and it's either going to be me doing an acoustic set, or me and my bandmates doing a band performance before that show, before the movie.
Full makeup?
Oh no,
Oh,
not
okay.
that band.
Oh.
Not that band.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's the plug. You guys are amazing. My wife is amazing. It's amazing to be here. The people I work with at work are super talented and loving. I mean, I'm blessed. If an asshole crosses my path, he's going to be fucking shitting rainbows by the time I'm done talking. Hopefully.
Yes.
So,
yes.
So stay happy.
Stay happy.
And shit rainbows.
Yeah.
You're so right though. I remember when I first got sober, bro. I mean, I felt like it's over now, right?
Like fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to be able to participate in something and enjoy yourself and have that connection to people, right? And just do fun, sober shit, or just simple as watching a movie or,
Yeah.
I mean, that's so huge, dude. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, we couldn't do anything without being loaded before.
Yeah.
Now there's not enough time in the day to do everything we want to do.
I know.
Yeah,
there is
Yeah,
not.
man.
There is
Jesus.
not.
Especially with
Even
three
with
kids.
your calendar, you know.
Yeah,
there's
even
just
with
not
the
enough-
calendar.
Not
Oh
enough
yeah,
time,
it's
you know.
true. My calendar is ridiculous. Yeah, and 3 kids, forget about it. Yeah, I got 4 dogs, but they're in a kennel right now. So the 2 small ones are in a big kennel, and the other ones are gated, in a yard.
I gotta go pick up the tour de France of picking up, dropping off kids after I leave here.
Nice.
Hopefully, none of those are in a kennel.
No, we're in the kennel.
Yeah, we just thank you for tuning in and being a part of this space. We're passionate about recovery and connecting people to recovery. Thanks again to Joe and Dave for being here today, and the people that support it and put it on. And hope you tune back in next time for the next episode. Thank you.
Years as a strip club DJ, it better be good.